Welcome to the lake. This is the very first day of being out on a kayak in 2015, recorded on March 30th, 2015, and I wanted to start the video off. This is a tour of the lake, or at least part of the lake. I wanted to start the video off with a little video on how I get in the kayak when it's freezing, when the water is freezing. Take note that there was like ice in the water like 3 or 4 or 5 days ago. Was a lot of ice in the water, so it's probably just basically ice water. That being in the water right there almost froze my feet off, but once you get your feet out, then things are a little better. So you scoot off a little bit. This is how I've been getting in the kayak forever. Works for me. So there you go. We're going to cut to a really cool GoPro shot. I'm going to have to do a lot more of videos like this with the GoPro. I just love, wide angle lenses, and this is the very first. I don't know why I didn't use the thing more. I've had it for years. I don't know why I didn't use it more than I did, but I just didn't. This is the very first time using it in this capacity, facing back, facing me in a kayak, and holy cow, I mean, I don't think anything shoots bad with the GoPro. It's just, I don't know, it's just that wideness really just puts you there somehow. I don't know, but obviously it's my first attempt at this, and not being able to see what you're shooting. Obviously I'm framed, in my opinion, a little high here. And in future videos I shall make a point to, although the sky's, kind of cool to look at too, but I think in the future I'll make a point to try to tilt it down a little bit more so you can see more of, the water in my crotch. But the majority of the videos coming up, as what you'll see, is the kind of the point of view or lakeshore tour right here. I just wanted to use that really cool, that's all I shot of that particular shot of GoPro. It was just a test, and I'm like, holy cow, I'll put that before the main, the main shot of the video, which is this is what you'll see for the duration of the video, which is just filmed off the kayak. I have the camera in front of me, and I have it panned a little bit to the right, so you can, as I paddle, around the lakeshore, you can see what's on the lakeshore. This is a lake that's relatively close to where I live, and I'd say it's probably the lake I kayak the most, just because of its convenience. There's so many things about it that I love for kayaking, just because of its convenience. It's relatively close. Also, you can pull right up. The lakeshore is just several yards, maybe 4 or 5 yards from where you pull up, so you can pull up the vehicle, just pull the kayak out of the back of the vehicle, and it's not very far from the car to the vehicle to the water. That's another, fantastic element. Also, for the night paddles, the spot where I park on the road is right underneath a street light, which also makes it perfect. Not only that's the accessibility perfections, and then on top of that, you have it to be, you have the size of the lake, which in my opinion is just a perfect size for a lap or two around, which is another great thing about it. And then yes, there are more. Yet another great thing about it is, you'll see a little bit of that in this video. This video probably only accounts for maybe under 1/4 of the entire lakeshore. But one thing I love about this lake is it's got a little, a nice amount of variety for, a paddle. Like here, it's just, kind of wooded, nature-ish stuff, and then we're coming up to, some houses and people's backyards, if you will, and that kind of stuff. And also just, there's a couple nooks and crannies in the lake, as far as just, whatever you call them, parts in a lake where it's kind of like a cove, or whatever you want to call it, where it's like ooh, better watch out, private property. I'll just go right past that sign into the, of course he means, the actual property, I would imagine. I don't know why anyone would assume that it's public, but whatever. Some people, I guess, are very protective of their property or whatever, but so yeah, this is probably where I paddle the most. Not only just is it the lake I kayak most, but obviously I kayak the lake more than I kayak the river. The river is a little bit more of a drive, and I tend to, you can put a good chunk of a day into a river. If I'm going to drive all the way out there, I want to put several hours into it, whereas this particular location is, like I say, so close and perfect for just if you want to do a lap, which I don't know how long. It's still probably like an hour or hour and 15 or hour and 25 minutes to do a lap or whatever. If you're just lollygagging like I'm doing now, I mean, I never bother with any, like, I'm not some kind of a racer, like trying to continually, go super fast and try to beat my time and all that crap. I'm a leisure biker and a leisure kayaker and just a leisure guy. I mean, right now I've got my robe, my robe on, and my pipe in my mouth, and my what's that jacket called? Like a lounge jacket or whatever the hell people, like the guy from Gilligan's Island, the Howl or whatever. He's always in like a lounging jacket or whatever with the pipe. Actually, I'm not in that, but you get what I mean. And here we come across a flag. Yeah. We claim this land. We're gonna kill all the indigenous Indians and we're gonna claim it and put up the flag. Actually, I don't know if there was an American flag when they came to kill Indians or not, if that was made later maybe, but regardless, there was a flag. One thing I wanted to mention is, throughout the years and years and years and years and years, my dream had always been to actually have lakeshore, to live on, to actually own lakeshore and to live on a lake. But, I mentioned in one of my previous kayaking videos from last year, 2014, that I got a kayak in 2004, and when you have a kayak or something relatively easy like that, to just where it's not a big trailers involved and all this kind of crap, you quickly realize that it's really easy to just take it to where you want to go, and you can go to any lake, and you find yourself you feeling like this lake one day and feeling like another lake another day, kind of like my women. I feel like Janine one day and Samantha the next. That's a joke. I don't have any women or anything. but I have lakes, so I mean, so you will feel like, this lake is pretty much the only night lake, the only lake that I go, at night during the dusk and to paddle into night. So, you'll be like, do you want to do this lake or that lake? It's during the day, we could do this lake, or we being me, myself, and I. And so, long story short, what occurred to me over the years of just basically going to this lake, or any lake or river or whatever, is that actually in my position, not actually owning or having lakeshore or living on lakeshore or owning it or whatever, is actually, even for water lake psychopath enthusiasts like myself, I mean, I find it to be like I'm in the better position where I don't have to worry about that high property tax and the high cost of even acquiring, even if I could. I mean, this is just la la land dreaming. I mean, I'm saying if I could. Not that I can. Anyway, but it's just like, people do a lot of dreaming, especially in America. It's a land of dreams. What is it? I don't know. Where dreams are made or whatever. But long story short, I think that I'm in a better position to just have a frickin' kayak and drive it to whatever lake I want. And basically, right now on this particular video, I'm getting as much use out of the lake as anyone would who pays the high price of first of all, the house on a lake, but also the annual taxes of the higher taxes of being on a lake. So I'm getting the use out of it just as much as they are, but without the burden of the higher cost. Not that I could even afford it anyway, and also I would imagine that if you live on a lake, how lame would it be to live on a lake? And I'd still want to go to other lakes in the river and stuff. How lame would it be to live on a lake and then take your kayak to another lake? It's just like, I feel like going to another lake. So I'd feel extremely guilty if I lived on a lake and I felt like going to another lake. How lame would you feel? I mean, potentially if you felt particularly... Oh, I got stuck here on the ground. How lame would it be to like drive away from your lake shore and to take the kayak to another lake? So potentially, I mean, it's a matter of opinion, but you get what I mean. I mean, so over the past several years, I've come to that conclusion, and I've actually given up the whole dream again. Not that it would ever happen anyway. The whole dream of living or owning lakeshore, or living on the lake. That dream, like so many other dreams, has faded, and I find that there's a birdie right there taking a bath, pretty cute. I scared the shit out of him, of course. Sorry about that. But I rarely see in all my lake water traversing, I rarely see a bird sitting in the lake giving himself a bath. So it's kind of interesting. On the very first day out kayaking this year, I saw it. So that's kind of, not only that, but I got it on video. So we're kind of coming towards the end here of the, like I say, this is probably accounts for under a fourth of the lakeshore of this particular lake. I'm just going my normal speed of lollygagging and whatever. I'll show you how this is proof of how recently the lake thawed, because we're coming to the only spot on the lake as of March 30th, 2015 that is actually still not completely thawed. We are looking at ice, the only ice that's left on the lake, and one of the more shady, obviously probably the most shady spot on the lake. You're looking at freaking ice there still, and it was very cool that I could document it with the camera facing, a little more towards shore. It's not facing forward. It's like I say, panned a little bit to the right so you can see. But that's the last ice. Say goodbye to it, because it ain't gonna last long with all this fantastic spring weather. So I suppose if you wanted to get your puck out and get your ice skates on, you could try it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's probably not going to work out very favorably to try it, but whatever. There's a tennis ball that I almost picked up, but then I'm like, why? Oh, that's another thing, that I even found one today, that when I go on my traversing and stuff, I'll because I am kind of whatever minded, litter minded or whatever, I will pick up any bobbers that I find and take them with me. I got a whole bucket full of bobbers, like a little thing full of bobbers. So coming to an end here, I hope you watched to here, and if you did, thank you very much. For the very first paddle of this year, very exciting, and it was fun to show you guys some of the, I'd say maybe some of the more interesting lakeshore of this particular lake, which is a lake, like I say, that I traverse the most out of any lake or any body of water for that matter. It's a perfect size for, like I say, a lap or two, and not very far from where I reside, so that's very cool. One of the only problems with the lake is that it's not very clear at all for snorkeling, which I like to do. That's one of the probably the only negative of the lake is it's so dirty that it's not even worth trying, but to put a mask on and see underwater. But thank you very much for watching, and you can be sure to see more of these videos in the coming weeks and months.